Hello everyone, welcome to the session on GenRocket integration with Tosca. In this video, we are going to see the sample use case and its test data challenges along with an overview of GenRocket project setup. And then we are going to explore and uncover various ways to integrate GenRocket with Tosca. Specifically, how GenRocket integration can do seamless data generation at the Tosca automation test case level. Before we deep dive on our integration journey, the important prerequisites required are installation of Tosca, which helps us to create the automation scripts, and then the GenRocket to perform synthetic test data generation. We highly recommend familiarizing yourself with the GenRocket and Tosca tools by referring to their respective knowledge base portals for documentation and videos. To understand the integration objective, we shall take the sample demo insurance app from Tricentis, where customer needs to enter the vehicle data following with user and product data. Based on the data entered, the price plan is calculated and made available, and then the user can select the plan as per their need. Finally, the quote information can be submitted. The real test data challenges here are variety of test data combinations are required to test various insurance price plans in the quote. Also, negative and edge cases are required to test out the rules and conditions set in the application. Prior to integrating Tosca and GenRocket, it is essential to configure the test data project in GenRocket by leveraging 5 key GenRocket components. These components play a crucial role in generating the data that aligns with the expected output format. For our use case, we have assigned 2 different receivers: JSON receiver to generate the output in the JSON format, and a simple map receivers to generate the data and keep it in memory, which eliminates the need to create and write it to a file format. Once the base project is ready, GenRocket provides a capability to create the test data cases called G cases. These G cases are GenRocket's one of the intelligent and powerful feature, allows us to generate data based on test case need. For a test case need, as you see, we could easily set the pattern in GenRocket G cases, where every 4th dataset in the date of birth field is set to a future date. Also, even before the actual data generation, GenRocket visually allows us to do the data preview to ensure the data are getting generated as expected in the requirement. So far, we have seen the sample use case on the demo insurance application. Subsequently, we have examined the various test data challenges that arise when testing this application. After that, we had a quick overview on GenRocket project setup. Now it's time to explore the most awaiting section, GenRocket integration with Tosca. Although GenRocket provides multiple ways in integration, in this video, we are going to focus on 2 primary ways. First option, triggering the GenRocket components from the command line. Option 2, using GenRocket multi-user server and the REST calls. GMUS refers to GenRocket multi-user server designed exclusively for the applications like Tosca to integrate with GenRocket. It allows multiple user requests to run GenRocket components and generate synthetic data simultaneously. Let's fasten our seatbelts and open the Tosca application. Once we are in, then create a test case and then name it. Then search and add a test step from Tosca predefined functions. This tbox.program step will allow us to run the GenRocket commands from the command line. Once the step is added, then we need to add the inputs one by one in respective value column. The first input is path to command line application, and then specify a working directory where the GenRocket scenarios and cases are available, and then pass on the argument to run the actual command. Subsequently, add GenRocket run command with scenario name. Finally, set the wait for exit value to true so that we can capture the logs and verify the exit code for the GenRocket command run is successful or not. All set now, let's go for the execution. The left-hand pane shows the folder where GenRocket components are available, whereas the right-hand pane shows the Tosca tool. Let's trigger the execution. As you can see, the execution run is successful, the logs are generated, and the JSON file with the data from GenRocket is available. We have successfully achieved the option 1 integration approach, triggering the GenRocket components in command line from Tosca. Now let's have a look on the second integration approach, which is even more powerful as it integrates with GenRocket components through REST calls from Tosca. This approach follows 3 simple steps. Tosca makes a REST call to GMUS, and then GenRocket multi-user server executes the scenario and generates the data. In the end, the REST response is then sent back to Tosca. Alright, let's go back to Tosca tool to create the test steps to make the REST calls. Navigate to API scan tab, create a message, and then provide the necessary inputs: method, endpoint, resources, headers, and payload. Once all the necessary inputs are given, then export this API setup to the Tosca modules. And then create a test case, search and add the GMUS API test steps. That's it, we have successfully integrated the GMS REST APIs in Tosca. Ensure GMS server is up and running before execution. Let's execute and analyze the results. Remember, we have set the receivers to simple map receiver in GenRocket project. So, the data is generated and made available in the API response itself for us to consume in the automation scripts. We have successfully learned about various approaches to integrate GenRocket with Tosca. Let's have a final check on how GenRocket can be integrated at Tosca test case level. For demonstration purpose, we have designed two different test cases, a positive and a negative case. Remember, in GenRocket we have set up two G cases. The first G case generates date of birth data with a future date, and the second G case generates positive data. Here comes the exciting part. As you can see, we have integrated the GenRocket components directly into Tosca automation test case. The input values in the payloads are mapped to their respective G cases. During the execution run, in the positive test case, the assigned GenRocket G case generates the positive dataset, whereas in the negative test case, the assigned GenRocket G case generates the negative dataset. Final point. Once the REST responses are received, we capture the values and store them in a variable parameters. These variable parameters can then be used in subsequent steps of the test cases. Amazing! Now, let's execute the test cases and witness the magic of GenRocket in action. The most fascinating aspect of this journey is GenRocket integrates at the test case level and generates data precisely tailored to meet the requirements of each test case. This ensures the test data aligns perfectly to each test case and enhances the accuracy and effectiveness of the testing process. Congrats! We have seen the successful integration and execution of GenRocket with Tosca at the test case level. Thank you for watching GenRocket Solutions video. For any queries, please reach out to our knowledge base and support team.